So here the topic is control statements or flow control. We'll use the two words for the same topic. So what is the control statements? There we have the controlling of the statements. For example, we have a group of statements. This group of statements will be executed based on a condition, based on condition. Or if you wanted to repeat the same statement for 10 times or 20 times or 30 times. So that means these statements are under control based on that certain condition will be either executed for 10 times or 20 times, or that may be executed based on a condition. So the control statements are plays a major role for application development. It may be either any application. In the real time, everything is depending on a control statements only. Best example, when you are using our mobile, first when you wanted to unlock your screen, mobile screen, then we have to use the password. So
Yeah,
whenever you enter the password is correct password, then only the screen will be allowed to access.
yeah,
Or else we can use a thumb impression.
yeah.
So that is also taking that based on the control statements only. So it's compared with our existing database password with the present entered password. If both are matched with that one, then only it allows to access the information or data inside the mobile. So here the control statements have that three types of control statements. So what are those? First one, first one is a conditional statements. First one is conditional based. So conditional statements, again we have that three conditional statements. First one is if, second one if else, third one if elif, and we have that if elif else. So these are the three things we'll use in conditional statements. When you come to that second one, we have that iterative. Iterative means of repeated. So as I said that 10 times or 20 times, those called repeated times. The same number of statements will be executed a number of times. Same number of statements will be executed for repeated number of times. That is called iterative statements. So here we got two iterative statements. One is for and second one is while.
That means if you are entering password 10 times in a day, it will capture all the data.
Yes, yes, yes. For example, while we entering the password, if you enter wrong password for 3 times,
Oh
immediately
yeah,
clock for 20 seconds or 30 seconds.
yes, yes, right.
It's based on the counting. And also, for example, if you wanted to print a same document for 100 copies,
Okay,
because instead of printing 100 times, simply will keep give one printing and give the number of copies as 100.
okay,
Automatically, the same loop will repeat and prints that same copy of 100 times.
okay,
So there will use this concept of iterative statements. Then next we have that transfer statement we have. So transfer statements. So transfer statements means execution will transfer from, for example, we have some condition, based on condition these statements will get executed. Suddenly whenever the condition is failed, the execution will jumps from here to here. So
okay,
automatically jumping or stopping the execution suddenly. That is called transfer statements.
okay.
Just interrupting that execution process. It's a break,
Yeah,
and we have that continue.
yeah. When we are running automation tool, when step 2 or step 3 is failing, it fails the whole test case like that.
Yes, yes. While we using testing concepts, the same thing will happen here. So automatically stops execution and raise the error. So these are the basic classification of control statements. We have that conditional, iterative, and transfer statements. So
Okay.
conditional based if and if else and elif. So let me check with one by one. So first we'll go with the conditional statements.
Okay. For if else concept, we don't use much in Python, right?
No, no, we'll use in Python because if
Okay,
based on the condition, we'll execute it sometimes.
okay,
Because
okay. Not
when you wanted to create a web-based application,
okay.
so there we have to give that user login, that is credentials, because every
Uh,
application need a permissions to use that
yeah, yeah.
application. There will use the conditional statements.
Okay, I'm not sure, but somewhere I heard like in Python we don't use this much. Like I don't know.
No, that is a switch case. Switch case is not there in Python.
Okay.
But conditional statements is most important part in any programming, not only in Python. You know, on all programs, the conditional statements are important.
Okay. Okay.
And because without not based on a condition, we cannot execute anything. That means in
Yeah.
data science, we will not use this much. But the
Okay.
same Python we can also use for web application, for IoT, for networking, and for gaming. Even it's in gaming also we have to use the Python program. That is a conditional statements.
So, but basically, I have a question. If I learn Python well, will I be able to develop a game?
Yes, you can. I'll show you in the session last of the classes. I'll show you. There you have the
Okay. Okay.
GUI application also in Python.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll show you how to implement the game developments, some basic games. Okay. So we
Yeah.
can apply web application, game development, or data science applications, IoT, machine learning. So
Okay.
a lot of applications are there for the Python. So
Okay.
first one in a conditional statements, if so here, for example, I have a number a equal to 10. I wanted to check this number is a positive or negative.
Okay.
Positive number or negative number. The positive or negative number is depending on a zero. If the number is greater than zero, then that is a positive number. If the entered number is less than zero, that is a negative number. Positive and negative number is depending on the zeros comparison with a zero. If the number is greater than zero, it will be positive or negative less than zero. So how it will be checked? So there we have the two conditions we have. So to check this condition, already we discussed in operators, that is a greater than is a comparison operator or relational operator. So to
Okay.
do that one, we have that if condition. There we have a syntax we'll use for this one. What is the syntax for if condition? Here, if and condition colon. So we have to use the colon and followed by the statements. If the condition is true, these statements will get execute. If the condition is true. If the condition is false, directly come out from the loop. It will not execute the statements. So if I use the condition only if condition and statements, let me write one example program here. I'm going to create a new Python file. So here first one control statements, basically first one will go with the conditional based. The first first one is if condition. So if is a keyword, we have to write in only lowercase letters. So here I'm going to write example program. Positive, just to give a number is positive or not, just we are going to check it. So here I'm going to take one number a equal to 10, or else we directly ask the user to enter the number. Enter int of input of, we are taking only integers, that's why I'm typecasting it. Enter number to check. Okay, so here now I'm going to check this. If a greater than 0, then only it needs to print that is a positive number. So if I enter that negative number, it will not give the any result, because in if syntax we have only one statement. There is no other option. It checks for only one condition. For example, if I give 10, it gives the positive number. If the for the same, if I give negative number, there is no output. It's not giving that is a negative number. So to get that whether the entered number is negative, you have to write the same logic for 2 times. We have to write 2 times the same logic. Just I'm writing 2 times. Here, one time I have to mention that a is greater than 0 other time. a less than 0. When the a less than 0 is a negative number. So that means when you run this one, if I give 10, positive number. If I give that minus 10, now it will give that negative number. See, here I have to write the 2 times of the same logic. So
So that
same
means
logic I have to write.
I have to verify a positive, then I can give only one time. But if I have to give a negative, then I have to do positive and then negative.
Yes, 2 times you have to repeat the same logic. To overcome this drawback, we have this flexibility in if else part. That is, second one is if else part. So by using this if else, we can check both positive and negative. So with the help of single condition, we can check whether it is positive or negative. S- s-
Okay.
Okay. Here I'm going to ask the user to enter int of input of. So here I'll write if a greater than 0, we'll say this one is a positive number. Print of, or else part is there. So see here, if and else we are writing in the same line, and whatever the statements we'll write under the condition is have some space. This space is called indentation. In a Python, indentation is important. The space
Okay.
whatever we are giving. So because here we don't have any brackets to mention these particular statements or belongs to this condition or not. To make that is particular statements or belongs to that conditional, we have to give space. Okay. Here when you want to write same else part, here I'm going to giving a space for this one is a negative number. So here when you run this program, even when you give direct value, it's given a positive. See here I'm not writing two conditions. As like in previous example, we written two conditions. One time is a greater than 0, second time is a less than 0. Here we mentioned two conditions, but here we mentioned only one condition, that is greater than 0. But even when you give the negative number, it's give the output. See, when you give minus 10, negative number it's given. When you give plus 10, it's given the positive number. With a single condition, we are executing two statements. So if we have the two outputs for the same condition, same program, then we'll go with this one as true or false. It's a positive number. Let me check with that whether the given number is even or odd. Program to check even or odd. So here I'll write same program, just modifying the logic. So to check that even or not, just a modulus 2 equal to 0. If the particular given number is divisible by 2, then that is even number, or else that is odd number. Okay. So the divisible by 2 means a modulus 2. If I give 2 modulus 2 means remainder is 0. 5 modulus 2 remainder is 1. When we'll get the remainder is 0, that particular number is even number. See here, I'll take some 5 is odd number. If we give the result, if input is some 30 is an even number. It's checking for the both. Now we'll move on to that real time example to check that passwords or usernames, like
Okay.
program to check. So ATM pin is a better example. So he'll ask the user to enter the pin. Normally I have the pin number is, my actual pin number is 1234. It's the
Okay.
database pin number. So I'm going to ask the user pin upin equal to int of input of, we are asking the user to enter the pin. Just we ask the user to enter the pin. Now we are going to check that pin equal to upin. If both are same, then it
Yeah.
needs to say that correct pin, or else it needs to give that wrong pin. Print of wrong pin. See here, when we enter 1 2 3 4, it's given that correct pin. If I execute that 8866, it's give the wrong pin.
Okay.
See here, so because it's comparing with the existing database pin numbers. If both are same, it's giving correct pin or wrong pin here.
Okay. What about the password is like alphanumerical, like that something?
Yes, for that one also we can do it. So here I'm going to use a mail ID. So let me check with the mail ID. So my existing mail ID is this one. So in string, I'm going to take Venki @ gmail.com. This is my username normally. Let me check. This is only
Suppose
alphabets and this one.
Venki2@gmail.com.
Yeah, Venki123. That's also a string now.
Yeah. So
Venki123. Yeah, just one. You mail. So I'm going to ask the user to enter the mail. This is a string. That's why I'm not using integer.
yeah,
By
yeah.
default, input function takes a string as input. Enter mail ID. We're asking the user to enter the mail ID. If mail equal to you mail, if both are same, print correct mail, or else print wrong mail. See your capital Venki. Just I used capital Venki123
Okay.
@gmail.com. So if you change anything, that will be changed. See here, I given capital V, capital V. If I try to give small v, output will give the result as wrong
Okay.
because
Okay.
it's case sensitive language.
Yeah.
Wrong mail. Actually, it looks like same mail ID.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but when you are using our Gmail account, it will access for both capital letters and small letters. So how will you access that one? We
Okay.
then
So here we have just only one email ID. So we are giving information like this, right? Mail equal to Venki like this. Suppose an example, if Gmail, take Gmail, Google is operating Gmail, and they have many millions of emails, right?
yes.
So which one is entering which password? Like how will they design that?
They connected with the database. Every mail while we creating the account, it should be matched with the existing database. There we have that data checking. Every time the total is cloud-based data. So
Yeah.
when we enter the username or password, we'll check for the database again.
Okay, so
So
there in that condition, we will give mail equal to this venki123@gmail.com and password equal to something one two
yes,
three.
1, 2,
It's
3, 4, 5 something. We have to check for both. So I'll show you that one also. User credentials also. Okay.
okay.
Next one. So here, for example, I have two numbers, a equal 10, b equal 20. I wanted to check the biggest number of given two numbers. To check that one, let me show that. Um so why I'm giving this normal examples, because for a better understanding of the concepts. Here, we'll ask the user to enter int of input of. It's asking to user to enter two values,
Yeah.
and b equal to int of input of enter b value. Okay, let me check that. If a greater than b, if a is greater than b, then we can say that print a value is big. Else automatically, if a is not big, then we can say that b is a big number.
Yeah.
So let me give give that. For example, 33 I given a value, b value I given 20. So a value is big because a value have 33. So that means here only two values. If I ask you to check for the three values, then what will be? How it is possible? To check the three values, then we have to go with the next level of conditional based. So what is the next level of condition based means? Here I have three values, A, B and C. So A must be compared with a B and also should be compared with a C. So that means first condition one, A must be greater than B and A must be compared with a C. If both are true, then only result is true.
Yeah.
Because it should satisfy the both the conditions A greater than B and A greater than C. Then only we can say that A is the biggest number. Or the second condition, if A is not true, if it is false, then there is a chance of having a biggest number in B and C, in between C and C, because as you know that A is smaller than B and smaller than C, but B and C is we have the biggest number in B and C. Now we have to check the second condition B and C. If it is true, then result is B, or else result is C, because there is no chance of having the other condition. There we have to check with the two conditions in the same logic. So to work with this one, there we have syntax of if, elif condition and else part. So with this one we will work. So how to write this one? Syntax for this one is if condition colon, we have some statements here, and elif condition 2. This is a condition 1, this is a condition 2, and we'll have some statements. So likewise we can write many number of conditions with the help of elif. So we can write n number of conditions, and last statement must be else part. So without else also we can write it. See, if the condition 1 is true, then these statements will be executed. So what are the statements after this one will not be executed? This is a condition 1 true. If the condition 1 is false, simply it goes and check for the second condition. In the case of false condition of 1, it goes and check. Again, it needs to check the second condition. If the second condition is true, these statements will get executed. Again, if the second condition is false, it's going to check for the next condition. So like basically, even if the second last condition is true, then these statements. If this is false, finally it goes to that else part. That means if the condition is false, then only go for the next condition. If this condition is false, it goes for the next condition. Likewise, so it's like a ladder. So how the ladder will be step by step. So here that next one is if elif else. If elif else. See here. So here example we go with biggest number of given three numbers. A equal to int of input of just b value we are giving and c value we give. Okay. So we are asking the user to enter three values. Now we are going to for the condition check. If first condition, if a greater than b and logical and we have to use check with a greater than c, because it should satisfy both the conditions. As we know that in logical end, if both are true, then only result is true. Already we discussed in logical end. A is biggest number. Okay, so Elif, we are going to check with the second condition. B greater than C. A is, if it is wrong, then we'll go with the B is biggest number. If both are wrong, it will say that C is biggest numbers. See here, for example, first value A value 10, B value 22, C value is 5. So out of this, B is the biggest number.
Yeah.
So automatically you got it. So that means first it will check for this one, A greater than B and A greater than C. If both are true, then only first result will come.
Okay.
Okay. Or else it's go for checking of second condition.
Okay.
Here A is not greater than B.
Yeah.
But A greater than C. That
Okay.
means one is true and other one is false. So true and false output is false because logical and we used here.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that's the logic. See here we taken only if elif condition on this thing. Let me check with one example, real-time example. Program to convert number to words. Just if I give 1, it needs to print ONE1. So because while we printing on banking checkbooks or student marks list, they mention that numbers. For example, in your intermediate, you got 945, like example, 945, it will print the result.
Okay.
So automatically on our certificate, it will print 945. So that
Okay.
means the digits will be reprinted in words.
Okay. Yeah.
Because someone may change their numbers easy. It's easy to modify the numbers,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
but it's not easy to modify the text.
Yeah.
So that's why we'll use in words. So converting numbers to words. First one, see here, we'll ask the user to enter the number, that is n. We are taking int of input of enter digits between 0 to 9. Okay. Now we'll check that one. If n equal to 1, it needs to print of ONE. If n equal to 2, print of 2. So see here, just I'm using elif condition.
Yeah.
Elif n equal to 4. I forgot to write 0.
Okay.
So final one is else part. So in else part, we have to mention that if the user enter other than 0 to 9, it needs to say that.
Oh, that means if they try to enter any alphabets or something.
Yes, yes. So now we'll run this one. So when you give 8 EAGHT, it's given. So
Yeah.
when you give 9 9, when you give some 4 4 conversion of it, if I give some numbers 123, please enter the numbers between 0 to 1. So here I given 123.
Yeah.
Now I am asking you to write an assignment program that must give that result of 123. Sometimes we'll give because we'll write on checkbook 25,565 rupees only and rastam manam.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you write something, that should be printed likewise. So that means that amount this should be displayed like that one.
Yeah.
Will you try that one?
Yeah, we'll try.
Okay, try that assignment. So that's a example program for that.
Yeah,
Better
sure.
understanding of if and elif. So here condition based one and if and elif. See, this can all not can also be used for to give the grades for the students. Grading for the student means if the students got marks. So how there some logic will be different. Program to give. For example, just we'll ask the user to enter the marks. Marks should be in integer format only.
Okay.
No. So if marks less than 35, for example, the pass percentage, if the student marks is less than 35, it needs to give that fail. The student get fail.
Elif
If
marks
marks must be greater than equal
35.
to 35, because the
Yeah.
35 is also pass, and so you have to check with the marks must be less than some 50 marks.
Yeah.
So the student grade is C grade. Print of
C.
C grade. If marks greater than or equal to 50 and marks
70.
less than some, let me check, 60. B grade students will get 60.
Yeah.
Print of B grade. If marks greater than or equal to 60 and marks less than 70, for example. 60 to 70 means a student will get a C, B, A grade. Print of A grade. Here next thing. Mark greater than or equal to 70 and mark should not be more than 100. Less than or equal to 100. That is the final logic.
Yeah.
Print of A plus, for example.
Okay.
See here, or else student must be enter in between marks between 100, 0 to 100 only.
Yeah.
That is actual marks. So when you run this one, automatically check. For example, if I give 120, it marks between that one. If I give 65, student got A grade. If I give 34, fail. So likewise, we can give that based on this one. It's giving the result. So that means student grade system also calculate like this one.
Okay.
Okay, filing. That means those applications also come interlink with the database again. So in Python last topic, I'll explain you how the database will be connected, how the employee data will be designed. So this also will be checked for that employee details. logical operators will be employee details, whether the particular employee having that eligible for a tax is not. If the employee salary is less than 2.5 lakhs, it's not eligible for tax. If the employee getting a salary more than 2.5 lakhs, it needs to pay the tax for the government. So that for checking of that one, we'll use the same concepts.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so here we are checking this one. So next one. So I said that nested if. Nested if means loop inside other loop. There is a condition inside other condition is called nested. So as we know that nest means that like birds used to make like a house, like nested. So nested means a loop inside other loop or condition inside other condition. Nested one. So the nested conditions will be used here. Syntax I am writing here. If the condition one, this is for example, this is outer condition. So I'm writing outer condition and we'll write some statement. Again inside of this one I'm going to write inner condition. And we'll write some statements and we'll write some else part and we'll write and this one else part. This is the outer condition else part. See here, the body of this one is inner body and this is straight to that else part. So what are the space will here? This one is called indentation. Indentation is important. Indentation means exactly making of statements under particular condition here. If the condition one is true, then only it checks for these conditions. It executes these statements and goes and checks for the condition. Again, if the condition is one is true, then only inner statements of these condition will be executed. If it is false, directly goes to else part if the condition is false. So when come to the if condition, here that if the condition is false, directly it will goes to the else part of the outer condition. See here. So this else part is belongs to the outer condition. This else part is belongs to the inner condition. So if the condition one is true, inner condition will check. And if the inner condition is also true, then only it's go and check for the execution of the statements. Or if the inner condition is false, it give that wrong thing. So how the our mail Gmail is account is acting. First, it will ask us to enter the mail. If the mail ID is true, that is a correct mail, then only it asks for the password. Okay. If the password is correct, then only it will access the account. Password is true. If the password is wrong, immediately it gives that password is wrong. Password is wrong, it will give whenever it gives the fail. If the mail ID is wrong, even it will not ask for the password. Even it will not ask for. Let me show check with that example. So how the Gmail. So see here it's asking the mail ID to enter here. See here just I'm entering my mail ID without at the rate of Gmail account, we can enter it. So just when I click this one with the existing mail ID, then only it's asking me to access through phone. So or else if the mail ID is wrong, let me go with the other option. Just I'm some 1 2 3 just I added it, or some
Okay.
4 5 6. So you don't have that one. See here itself is given that wrong.
Yeah.
Couldn't find any Google account here. So that means it's automatically checking with the existing Google database. If it is not exist, simply it's giving that one. Again, immediately it got given forget mail ID, learn or create account options here. Okay, so that means if the mail ID is correct, then it will go for the password. If the mail ID is wrong, even it will not enter into the password process. So why they given this one means of to protect from the hackers. So previously we don't have this option.
Okay.
Present they given this. So let me check the same concept here. So we're going to write that credentials of the user Gmail account. We'll say nested if. Here, first one will take the mail ID. My existing mail ID is, for example, vikas123@gmail. So we'll ask the user to enter the mail ID. Umail equal to input of enter mail ID. So now we'll check for the user to check if mail equal to umail. If it is true, now it will ask the user to enter that password. So here I'm taking password. Before that, I'll give the password equal to 1234, or even we can give that because @123 is my password. Okay, just we taken. Now we'll ask the user to enter that u password equal to input of, it's also a string, enter password. If u password equal to existing password, successfully logged in. Successful login is just given. Else, if the password is wrong, it needs to say that wrong password. Just it needs to print that wrong password. Or else, if the even mail ID is wrong, it needs to give that wrong mail ID. Just to check. So now we'll ask the user to enter, check the credentials. See here, just I'm giving vikas123@gmail.com. Just we asked it. So when we enter the correct email ID, it's asking the password. So if I enter the password is correct, vikas@123, then it will give that wrong password. Because capital V, we have to give that. Because password is also case sensitive.
Yeah.
Successfully login. So if I enter correct mail, wrong mail ID, see capital V, vikas@gmail. Just I'm writing a wrong mail ID. Wrong mail ID. Even it's not entering for the password. So likewise, we'll write the credential checking of this one. This logic important.
Okay. Here, can't we use elif?
Elif is not required now. Elif is a continuous ladder. Ladder means not inner condition checking. It's a elif is outer condition checking.
But here we entered 2 times else, right? So 2 times if.
Where we entered in previous example of mail ID checking.
Here.
We didn't use that one.
No, here in the current one whichever we are doing now.
We are doing now here. We are not used any elif part. Not required. If you try to check with elif, that's not inner loop. It's outer loops, but nested, not ladder loop.
Okay.
It's a nested means loop inside other loop. That means condition inside the other condition. Here, see here, if elif else is if else is a inner condition to the mail password. Whenever the mail ID is correct, then only goes for the password.
Okay.
If I write like elif part, it will not work properly.
Okay. But I'm little confused with this thing.
ఇక్కడ చూడండి, నార్మల్గా మనం ఏం చేసామంటే అవుటర్ లూప్ రాస్తున్నాం అండి. అవుటర్
Ah.
లూప్ లో మెయిల్ ఐడి ఒకటే చెక్ చేస్తున్నాం. మెయిల్ ఐడి కరెక్ట్ అయితేనే మనకు పాస్వర్డ్ అడగాలి. ఇది మన కండిషన్ మెయిన్. మన జీమెయిల్ అదే జరుగుతుంది కదా. ఒకవేళ మెయిల్ ఐడి రాంగ్ అయితే పాస్వర్డ్ కూడా అడగదు, ఇక్కడ
Yeah.
ఆగిపోవాలి ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్. రాంగ్ మెయిల్ ఐడి అని వస్తుంది. అదే మనం మార్క్స్ గ్రేడ్ సిస్టమ్ అయితే మనకు ఛాన్స్ ఉంది, ఈ గ్రేడ్ కాకపోతే ఇంకో గ్రేడ్ అయ్యే అవకాశం ఉంది అక్కడ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
కానీ ఇక్కడ పాస్ మెయిల్ ఐడి ఇది కాకపోతే ఇంకో మెయిల్ ఐడి అని లేదు కదా. మెయిల్ ఐడి ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ డేటాబేస్ లో ఉంటేనే పాస్వర్డ్ అడగాలి.
అవును, అవును. Yeah, yeah.
దానివల్ల ఇది చెక్ చేసాం అనిస్టెడ్.
Okay, okay, okay.
సేమ్ థింగ్ మీరు ఎక్కడ వాడతారంటే ఏటీఎం మిషన్ లో వాడతారండి. ఏటీఎం మిషన్ లో అంటే పిన్ నెంబర్ కరెక్ట్ అయితే మనకి ఆప్షన్స్ చూపిస్తుంది అది. విత్డ్రా అమౌంట్, ట్రాన్సాక్షన్, ఫండ్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్, మినీ స్టేట్మెంట్, ఇవన్నీ.
Yeah.
ఒకవేళ పిన్ నెంబర్ రాంగ్ అయింది అనుకోండి, ఏమొస్తుంది, రాంగ్ పిన్ అని వచ్చి ఎగ్జిట్ అయిపోతుంది అంతే.
అవును. Yeah.
అక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది, పిన్ నెంబర్ అనేది అవుటర్ లూప్ కండిషన్, అవుటర్ కండిషన్. ఇన్నర్ కండిషన్ లోకి వస్తే మనం అమౌంట్ డ్రా చేస్తాం. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మన అకౌంట్ లో ఓన్లీ 55,000 ఉన్నాయి. 55,000 అమౌంట్ లో మనం వెన్ యూ ట్రై టు డ్రా ద 56,000, అక్కడ మళ్ళీ
Okay.
కండిషన్ చెక్ చేయాలి. ఏం కండిషన్ చెక్ చేయాలి, ఎంటర్ చేసిన అమౌంట్ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ బ్యాలెన్స్ కన్నా తక్కువ ఉండాలి లేదా ఈక్వల్ ఉండాలి.
Okay, okay.
దెన్ ఓన్లీ ఇట్ విల్ డూ ద ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ ప్రాసెస్.
Okay, okay.
అక్కడ ఏంటంటే అవుటర్ కండిషన్ ఏమో పిన్ నెంబర్, ఇన్నర్ కండిషన్ వచ్చేసి అకౌంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్.
Yeah, right.
Now we'll write one example program. For that one we'll write it. So same account balance checking కోసం ఏటీఎం ప్రోగ్రామ్. ఫస్ట్ పిన్ నెంబర్ తీసుకుందాం మనం. యూజర్ పిన్ నెంబర్ మనం ఎలా అయితే తీసుకున్నాం 1 2 3 4. నా బ్యాలెన్స్, అకౌంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ తీసుకుందాం. అకౌంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 5,000 తీసుకుందాం, సింపుల్ వే. ఇప్పుడు యూ పిన్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఫస్ట్ యూజర్ ని పిన్ అడగాలి కదా.
Yeah.
ఇంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్పుట్ ఆఫ్ ఎంటర్ పిన్. ఇప్పుడు మనకి పిన్ నెంబర్ కరెక్ట్ అయితేనే నెక్స్ట్ ప్రాసెస్ కి అడగాలి, బ్యాలెన్స్ విత్డ్రావల్ అమౌంట్ అడగాలి. ఇఫ్ పిన్ ఈక్వల్ టు యూ పిన్ అయితే, బూత్ ఆర్ సేమ్ అయితే ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం అడగాలి, యూ బ్యాలెన్స్, యూజర్ ఎంటర్ చేసిన బ్యాలెన్స్ అడగాలి. యూ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఇంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్పుట్ ఆఫ్ ఎంటర్ అమౌంట్ టు విత్డ్రా. సో విత్డ్రా చేయడం కోసం అమౌంట్ అడుగుతున్నాం. సో ఇక్కడ నేను ఇఫ్ యూ బ్యాలెన్స్ మస్ట్ బి లెస్ దాన్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్ టు బ్యాలెన్స్, మనం ఎంటర్ చేసిన బ్యాలెన్స్ కనుక బ్యాలెన్స్ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ బ్యాలెన్స్ కన్నా ఎక్కువ ఉంటే ఇన్సఫిషియెంట్ ఫండ్స్ అని వస్తుంది మనకి.
Yeah.
ఇలా డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది మనకి, కలెక్ట్ యువర్ క్యాష్ అని వస్తుంది మనకి. సో
Yeah.
ఆటోమేటిక్ ఏటీఎం మిషన్. సో ఇక్కడ నేను ఒకవేళ ఎంటర్ చేసిన బ్యాలెన్స్ కనుక ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ బ్యాలెన్స్ కన్నా తక్కువ ఉంది, ఎంటర్ చేసిన బ్యాలెన్స్ ఎక్కువ ఉంది ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ బ్యాలెన్స్ కన్నా, సింప్లీ మనకి ఏమొస్తుంది, మనకి ఇన్సఫిషియెంట్ ఫండ్స్ అని వస్తుంది.
Yeah.
సో అదేం చేస్తుంది, ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ మన అకౌంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ చెక్ చేసుకుంటుంది. ఇదంతా కూడా పాస్వర్డ్ కరెక్ట్ అయితేనే.
Yeah.
ఒకవేళ
Okay.
పాస్వర్డ్ రాంగ్ అయితే ఏమవుతుంది, రాంగ్ పాస్వర్డ్ అని వస్తుంది, రాంగ్ పిన్ అని ఉంటుంది.
Okay.
If the pin number is wrong, it will display that wrong pin.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Please try again అని వస్తుంది.
Okay, okay. So
అదనమాట లూప్ ఇన్సైడ్ అదర్ లూప్ అని అర్థం. ఇది ఇప్పుడు చూడండి,
so
ఎంటర్
same
చేస్తాను.
condition లో సేమ్ కండిషన్ లో నాకు డైలీ విత్డ్రాల్ లిమిట్ ఓన్లీ 2,000 ఉంది అని యాడ్ చేయాలంటే ఎట్లా యాడ్ చేస్తాం అది?
అది డేటాబేస్ కావాలండి కంపల్సరీ. డేటాబేస్ ఉంటేనే మనకి బ్యాలెన్స్ అప్డేట్. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి దీంట్లో చూద్దాం. ఫస్ట్ ఎంటర్ అమౌంట్ నేను 6,000 ఎంటర్ చేశాను, ఇన్సఫిషియెంట్ ఫండ్స్ అని వచ్చింది. ఇప్పుడు నేను బ్యాలెన్స్ విత్డ్రా చేశాను. విత్డ్రా చేసిన తర్వాత ఏం జరగాలి, మన అకౌంట్ అప్డేట్ కావాలి. అంటే బ్యాలెన్స్ అమౌంట్ అనేది డ్రా చేసిన అమౌంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ అమౌంట్ నుంచి సబ్ట్రాక్ట్ అవ్వాలి.
ఓకే.
బ్యాలెన్స్ మైనస్ యూ బ్యాలెన్స్. సో ఈ బ్యాలెన్స్ మళ్ళీ ప్రింట్ కావాలి నాకు. ఎవరు విత్డ్రా చేసిన అమౌంట్ తర్వాత అకౌంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్, మీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ అకౌంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ అనేది డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది. ఈ డిస్ప్లే అంటే ఇక్కడ ఏదైతే ఆపరేషన్ జరుగుతుందో ఇక్కడ ఇది డేటాబేస్ లో స్టోర్ అవ్వాలి వెళ్ళి. అప్పుడు ఏంటంటే ఈ రోజు మీరు డ్రా చేసిన అమౌంట్ దాని యొక్క ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ మొత్తం డీటెయిల్స్ స్టోర్ అయ్యి ఉంటాయి. ఏమేమి స్టోర్ కావాలి, మనం ఎక్కడ ఏటీఎం మిషన్ లో డ్రా చేసాం, టైం ఎంత, దాన్ని ఎంత అమౌంట్ డ్రా చేసాం, అదంతా కూడా డేటాబేస్ లో ఒక ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది అనమాట.
ఓకే.
ఎప్పుడైతే మనం మినీ స్టేట్మెంట్ కొట్టినప్పుడు ఆ డీటెయిల్స్ మొత్తం రావండి. మినీ స్టేట్మెంట్ లో డేట్ మనకి విత్డ్రావల్ అమౌంట్ వస్తుంది టైం
యా.
దగ్గరికి. సో వెన్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ దిస్ వన్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ పిన్ నెంబర్ కరెక్ట్ కొట్టేశాను. నేనేం చేస్తాను, 5,000 అమౌంట్ ఉన్నాయి నాకు. నేను 3,300 డ్రా చేశాను,
ఓకే.
విత్డ్రా చేశాను. నాకు అకౌంట్ ఎంత ఉంది? అకౌంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ 1,700 ఉంది ఇంకా.
ఓకే.
ఈ అకౌంట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ 1,700 అనేది మనకు డేటాబేస్ ఉంటే స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. ఇక్కడ నేనేంటి జస్ట్ ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ లో చేస్తున్నాను, బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి మనం.
యా,
ఫ్రంట్
యా.
ఎండ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ ఒకటే, అంటే యూజర్ కనిపించే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇదంతా కూడా
యా, ఓకే.
ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ యూజర్ కి. సో మళ్ళీ రన్ చేసినప్పుడు రాంగ్ పాస్వర్డ్ ఎంటర్ చేశాను అనుకోండి, అసలు పిన్ నెంబర్ రాంగ్ అని వస్తుంది. ఇక
యా,
నెక్స్ట్ ప్రాసెస్ లోకి వెళ్ళదు ఇది. మీరు అడిగిన కాన్సెప్ట్ మనం దాంట్లో చూద్దాం. డేటాబేస్ కనెక్టివిటీ చేసినప్పుడు
యా.
మీకు ఎంప్లాయీ డీటెయిల్స్, ఎంప్లాయీ శాలరీ డ్రా చేశాడు, ఎంత అమౌంట్ ఉంటుంది, సో అవన్నీ రియల్ టైం దాంట్లో చేసుకుంటాం డేటాబేస్ కనెక్టివిటీలో.
ఓకే.
ఒరాకిల్ డేటాబేస్ వాడతాం మనం.
ఓకే. ఓకే. అది.
ఓకే, క్లియర్ గా. సో ఇక్కడ నేను ఏం చేశానంటే ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఓన్లీ బ్యాలెన్స్ కి రాశానండి. ఫస్ట్ యూజర్ పిన్ నెంబర్ కరెక్ట్ ఎంటర్ చేస్తే నాకు ATM లో ఎలా అయితే డిస్ప్లే ఆప్షన్స్ డిస్ప్లే అలా డిస్ప్లే కావాలి. అది
ఓకే.
మీరు ట్రై చేయండి. ఫస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ పిన్ నెంబర్ కరెక్ట్ ఎంటర్ చేస్తే ఆప్షన్ 1 విత్డ్రా, ఆప్షన్ 2 మినీ స్టేట్మెంట్, ఆప్షన్ 3 పిన్ చేంజ్, ఆప్షన్ 4 సమ్ మొబైల్ నెంబర్ చేంజ్, ఇలా 4 ఆప్షన్స్ డిస్ప్లే అవ్వాలి. ఒక యూజర్ 1 బటన్ ప్రెస్ చేస్తేనే అది ఇట్ నీడ్స్ టు గో ఫర్ విత్డ్రా ద బ్యాలెన్స్.
ఓకే. ఓకే.
ఒకవేళ ఇప్పుడు యూజర్ ఇంకా 2 ఎంటర్ చేస్తే ఇక్కడ ఏం జరుగుతుందంటే నెస్టెడ్ లూప్స్ వస్తాయి, ప్లస్ మీకు ఎలిఫ్ లేడర్ కూడా వస్తుంది.
ఓకే. యా, యా.
2 కాంబినేషన్ లో రాయాలి ప్రోగ్రామ్.
ఓకే. ఓకే.
అంటే ATM మిషన్ లో ఏం జరుగుతుందో అలా ప్రాసెస్ చేసుకోవాలి ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ లో. అది మీరు
ఓకే.
ట్రై చేయండి, రాకపోతే నేను చెప్తాను క్లియర్. ఓకేనా?
యా, షూర్, షూర్.
అటు ట్రై చేయండి. ఇట్స్
యా.
క్లియర్ కదా ఇక్కడ వరకు నెస్టెడ్ లూప్స్ ఇవి?
యా, క్లియర్, క్లియర్.
ఓకే, ట్రై ఫర్ బోత్. వన్ ఈజ్ ఫర్ కన్వర్షన్ ఆఫ్ ఏ నెంబర్, దట్ ఈస్ 123 అంటే 123 అని రావాలి.
యా, ఓకే.
ఒకటేమో ఇది పిన్ నెంబర్ ATM మిషన్. ఓకే,
ఓకే, షూర్.
ఓకే, ఓకే.